What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Inside the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you're new to the show or just checking back, if you could go ahead and hit the subscribe button at the bottom, I would really appreciate it. So what I want to do this week is dig a little more into the hairband era by unboxing the 30th anniversary edition of Slaughter's Stick It To You. So just to give you a little backstory on Slaughter, they formed in 1988. They formed from the ashes of the Vinnie Vincent invasion, and apparently were signed to Chrysalis Records, and Chrysalis gave them the $4 million, or what was left of it, that was originally signed to Vinnie Vincent because he used too much credit or something like that. I don't know, over the years I've heard a lot of stories about Vinnie Vincent being difficult to work with, and it seems it was no different for the guys from Slaughter. So, Dana Strum on bass, Mark Slaughter on vocals. They came from Vinnie Vincent. They teamed up with Tim Kelly on guitar and Blas Elias on drums to form Slaughter. They released their first album in 1990, January 23rd, 1990 to be exact. The album does contain 3 top 40 singles. Up All Night peaked at number 27. Fly to the Angels peaked at number 19. Spend My Life peaked at number 39. And then there were a couple other singles, Mad About You, which did really great at MTV, and also Desperately, which, you know, did okay, I guess. The album itself peaked at number 18 on the Billboard charts and eventually was certified double platinum. And, you know, my introduction to them, I was in the 8th grade when Stick It To You came out. And, you know, I loved the band right away. I was totally into the whole hairband thing. Still am to this day. I think it's great. And that summer, they toured with Kiss. And I had just recently gotten into Kiss earlier in the 8th grade as well, and was going to see them on the Hot in the Shade tour. So that was totally awesome, getting to see Kiss, you know, as well as Slaughter. And then I think Danger Danger opened the show and whatever. You know, I'm not a big fan of them. So let's go ahead and take a look at the album, you know, if you will. So, I got this maybe 2 weeks ago, but I've been trying to work out some different audio and video issues. I don't really know that I've worked any of them out, but I've been sitting on this box for about 2 weeks now waiting to open this up. So let's take a look. All right. So here you have it, folks. This is Slaughter's Stick It To You. Iconic cover with a very beautiful woman on the front. All right. And on the back would be a picture of the band as they were in 1990, as well as the track listing. So let's go ahead and take the shrink wrap off this bad boy so we can see it a little bit better. All right. Luckily, they make it easy for you on the back here. And it looks like this release, I'm sure, you know, it was licensed out by Chrysalis or Capitol and Universal Music, but it looks like Friday Music was the ones that did this reissue. They've done some great reissues. The Skid Row's debut album on vinyl is great. The Faster Pussycat stuff, Dokken, they've done some really great reissues on vinyl. So check out their catalog at FridayMusic.com or whatever it is. Anyway. So once again, without the shrink wrap, here is the cover to Stick It To You, with again the very beautiful woman on the front, and on the back, again the picture of the band and the track listing. So let's open up this gatefold and see what we have. Oh wow, okay. Inside the gatefold here, we have another picture of the band with their signatures underneath for each member. So that's pretty cool. So let's see if there's anything special in here. You know, actually it's a gatefold, but it's only one disc. And unfortunately, like some of the other ones I've unboxed recently, I don't see any liner notes or anything in here, which is a little disturbing. I mean, you get a little bit on the back of the record, but as far as all the special thanks and, you know, who might have done what, or any guest musicians or anything like that that might have happened, you know, you're not really getting a lot of that in some of these reissues. So that's a little disturbing. So anyway, so here's the record pulled out. Let's go ahead and pull it out of its sleeve. Ooh, fancy. Fancy orange vinyl. I think there's another version that just recently came out because the ads keep popping up on my Facebook feed, which is funny because I'm like, I already bought the record, so I don't know why you keep popping up ads. I think it's for a red vinyl. If I'm wrong, I'll put a little correction above my head. But as you can see, orange vinyl. And, you know, nothing too overwhelming in the middle. Just the, you know, sticker in the middle, your standard Capitol Records vinyl sticker with the little Friday Music logo at the bottom. Track listing on one side. You flip it over, it's the exact same thing on the other side. So nothing too overwhelming there. All right. You know, and like I said, unfortunately, there's no other, you know, there's no other liner notes or anything in here. You know, usually, you know, you'd expect to get something with like lyrics or, you know, again, more information about the album itself. You know, so whatever information you get, you know, that was available on the CD and the cassette and everything, isn't here. You just get the little bit of information that's at the bottom of the record here, which really isn't much. So that's unfortunate. But again, you know, the packaging is really nice. This is 180 gram audiophile vinyl. So that sounds nice. And again, like I said, you know, the packaging is really great. I just really wish there would have been some sort of insert in here with some liner notes, or even if you put it on the inside of the gatefold, you know, give us something else, you know, for maybe somebody that's just buying this album for the first time that's interested in those things. You know, they're buying it on vinyl and now they, you know, they can't go in and see the lyrics or, you know, see, you know, who did what on the album. You know, they still have to go to like Wikipedia or wherever to get that information. So, you know, whatever. I haven't listened to it yet. I have read some mixed reviews on it. Some say it sounds great. Some say the transfer wasn't great. I've been a little hit or miss with some reissues lately. I just recently did an unboxing with an Anthrax album that I love. And upon a couple listens, you know, I think depending on the stereo I listen to it on, you know, it sounds a little bit better in some aspects. But for the most part, you know, I wasn't super happy with the transfer. I don't know how this will be. I'll give it a listen before I put this video out, and I'll let you know up here, you know, above my head. So, you know, again, let's just talk about the album a little bit more. So like I said, I mentioned the singles earlier, you know, Up All Night, Fly to the Angels, Spend My Life, Mad About You, you know, all pretty big hits. Some bigger hits on the charts than others, but all were Headbangers Ball, MTV, Dial MTV hits, you know, whatever. There's some other great songs on this record. The song opens up with Eye to Eye, great tune. Then goes into Burning Bridges, which I'm pretty sure was written about their experience with Vince, or not Vince Neil, oh my God, Vinnie Vincent. Sorry, Vince. You know, about their experience with him, and, you know, and the somewhat entitled attitude that guy has seemed to have, you know, over the years, you know, despite not really achieving a whole lot of success outside of Kiss. Up All Night, as I mentioned, you know, great song, Spend My Life. Thinking of June, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is just an instrumental track. She Wants More, which is, you know, about a kind of a gold-digging chick or whatever. You know, it's a pretty fun song. Fly to the Angels. Then we go to the second side with Mad About You, Desperately, you know, and then there's a, you know, handful of other tracks, some filler tunes, but still fun. Still, you know, still a pretty great record. I wouldn't call it amazing, but I would call it a great record. And I will say, you know, the overall sound of the record, let me put it up here, you know, now that I'm just, you know, going on about it. All right. You know, but the record itself, I mean, upon, you know, listening to it 30 years later, you know, it does have a little bit of a cheesy, overproduced, late 80s, actually, in this case, early 90s sound that was going on towards the end of the hair band era before grunge took over. You know, like I said, I do like Slaughter and other bands that are similar to them, like Firehouse and some other ones, but they were starting to take on a more homogenized, more polished, overproduced sound. And unfortunately, you know, if I had any major flaw with this record, it would be the kind of, you know, the overproduced sound of the record. But it's still really good. It has some great songs. These guys were great in concert. I mean, you know, when I saw them open for Kiss, it was kind of crazy because at the time, you know, they were selling records like hotcakes, and Kiss just had Forever as a hit single, but, you know, weren't, you know, necessarily on top of the world like they were earlier in the 80s and, of course, in the 70s. You know, so I think the concert here, there might have been 3,000 people there, you know, and it was just kind of surprising because it was like, well, Slaughter was a bigger draw, I would think, at the time than Kiss was. But, you know, Slaughter came out and it was kind of neat. Mark Slaughter did the whole little flip roll thing onto the stage, just like he does in the Up All Night video. That was kind of neat. You know, and then I got to see them again several years later, about 10 years later, in 2000. And I think by then, Tim Kelly, the original guitar player, had passed away. And they had a different guitar player. Again, if I'm wrong, I'll put a correction up here. But that was like a Labor Day, you know, hair band concert thing with Poison and Cinderella and Dokken or whatever. But Slaughter was great then too. But yeah, nothing better than, you know, 1990. You know, I'm a new Kiss fan. You know, I'm a new Slaughter fan, as every Slaughter fan was at that point in time. And just being able to see, you know, one of the first big concerts that I went to that summer, just to be able to see, you know, Slaughter and Kiss on the same night, it was pretty badass. So again, check it out. It's out on Friday Music under license from Capitol and Universal Music Special Markets. Check it out. Once again, there's the front cover. There's the back cover. You know, a great, you know, if you like, you know, fun late 80s, early 90s style hairband rock, you can't go wrong with Slaughter. This is actually a great record. And check out, there was a follow-up to this later that year called Stick It Live, or it might have been next year. Has the same, you know, very beautiful woman on the front. You know, and it's like a, you know, it's like a live EP, I think with 6 or 7 tracks recorded on that Kiss tour. So check that out too. And, you know, of course they have other albums that came out after. You know, Wildlife, and then, you know, some other things, you know, once grunge took over and they kind of fell out of favor. So check those out. So that's all I got this time. I've just had this record for a couple of weeks and I was really excited and wanted to open it up. So there you go. If you like what you heard or you like what you saw, subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos. I do have other unboxing videos as well as my Inside the Vinyl series on Lost Classics, as well as my new thing I've just started where I start, you know, where I'm going through and discussing some of my favorite live records. So more of that to come. I also have some concert footage out there, a couple of playlists from the Exit 111 Festival about a year and a half ago, and then Welcome to Rockville, a few of those when we were still able to go to concerts, so check those out. And, you know, if you're really scrounging for content, and you're into disc golf, I am a very mediocre disc golfer, and I have some very mediocre disc golf videos starring my mediocre disc golf friends as well as myself. So again, like my channel, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.